think it would have been great to have in a core Diablo game, like Diablo 3. For example, the Barbarian has an ability where he picks up an enemy and then throws him at another enemy. Like, that's so cool, and we've never seen something like that before in Diablo. The monk can essentially run and then jump off of walls, and the demon hunter can shoot a grappling hook and swing around across the dungeons. And there's even new skills that interact with other skills. So the wizard can summon an ice crystal and it'll just like float there. And then if you cast Ray of Frost through the crystal, it splinters off and hits multiple targets. That stuff is so cool. That's like Dungeons and Dragons level stuff that, you know, like creative over the top stuff. And I guess I'm just like a little bitter that it's not going to be on a Diablo PC or console game. I think one way for Blizzard to have been able to kind of save face was to state that it would be available on PC as well, similar to Hearthstone. Because NetEase, who is the code developer for the game, has games that is on mobile and also on Steam. So, you know, majority of fans were like, well, why can't it also be on Battle.net? But every time it was asked, no matter who was interviewing, who was being asked, it was always shot down with just a resounding no. Had they said, hey, we hear you, we'll consider it, I feel that it would have softened the blow some, like, probably not a lot more, but it would have softened it some. One of my favorite streamers, I've mentioned him a couple times, his name's Riker. Like I said, if you guys are fans of Diablo, if you're fans of the lore, go check out his videos. He also streams on Twitch. But he was offered a stream spot from Blizzard during BlizzCon. And he had one of the community managers along with him on there. And prior to the stream, he expressed that he might not have only positive things to say, and that he wished he could be positive about everything, but it's not what he was feeling, because, and he wasn't alone. Like I had joked with some of my friends, you know, they were adamantly against, you know, the idea of that's the only thing that Blizzard showed for the Diablo spot. And I was like, hands down, I was joking with them about it. And, you know, like, well, no, like, this game's going to be so good. It's the future of it's the future of Diablo. But, you know, deep down, I was internally screaming. So anyway, he had asked if he could be respectfully honest, and Blizzard's response was absolutely, which is a definite, like, that's such a reassurance that they're open to criticism as long as it wasn't toxic. You know, and throughout the stream, Wyatt and Brandy, which is another community manager, came up and they were very open to conversations, you know, and Riker has been criticized for giving them softball questions, but what would any professional do in that situation? Like me, I wouldn't have been, you know, like berating them or yelling at them like people wanted to happen, because this is not professional. You don't want to be known as the person who caused a stink for a company. You know, and furthermore, what more was Blizzard going to say beyond what they've been essentially told to say? Because, you know, there's probably some things they were told before BlizzCon, like, if you're asked about this, here's what you tell them. Because anyone that does a panel at BlizzCon, whether they're a Blizzard employee or not, they're given essentially a crash course of, you can talk about this, but you can't talk about that. You can say this, but you can't say that. And it's the same at any convention that's larger than average, like whether it's San Diego Comic-Con or if it's Wizard World. It doesn't matter. If you're doing a panel, you're told you can say this, you can't say that, because you're now associated with that brand. So, like I said, there's some things they can and can't talk about. So, you know, asking them hardball questions and trying to make them squirm and trying to be that edgy person, like, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to get them to open up about anything. Because of how Riker was handling it, one of the community managers, Brandy, she did say that there was some stuff coming for Diablo 3 for the next season. And she said that She was actually in the process of working on some blog posts, but because there's that crunch before BlizzCon, there just wasn't enough time to post them. But she said that they're not done with Diablo 3, but then, of the response was, well, why not just discuss that at BlizzCon? If, there wasn't time to post about it before, add that in to your Diablo panel. Don't solely focus on a mobile version of your game. And like I said, then Wyatt came in, and one guy in the chat literally told Riker to stab Wyatt while he was there. Like, come the fuck on. Regardless of what you think of this whole situation, of the announcement, the game itself, death threats of violence even, are just against individuals is literally fucked up. That's so messed up. Because, these people are professionals. They're, passion projects. Like, Wyatt loves Diablo. And he's even been branded as the person that has single-handedly saved the Diablo franchise. And now people churn on him at the drop of a hat. Come on. But anyway, post-live stream, Riker was able to get some one-on-one time with them and just let them know that based off of what he had seen or the reactions on the internet, their presentation came across as tone deaf to their audience, because it's true. There's hardcore fans that spent hundreds of dollars, if some cases thousands, because they came from completely different countries than the United States of America, to go to this convention, and they're primarily PC gamers. The majority of those gamers aren't mobile gamers, other than Hearthstone, but Hearthstone makes sense as a mobile game. It's a trading card game. But I don't see how they thought a mobile MMO was a good idea for an audience primarily of PC gamers. They should have had an inkling of an idea that this presentation was not a good one. And Diablo fans have been, for the most part, neglected for a long while. We had the Necro expansion, which was kind of just like a hodgepodge of stuff that was canceled, because they were going to do this massive expansion, and they got to a certain point, they canceled it, and they just tightened up what they had, and they released it as what it was. It wasn't even, in my opinion, a full-fledged expansion. And before that was the Crusader expansion, and added, another act to the game. But even that, it was pretty minute. And, they've been trying to keep up with the seasons and stuff, which I'm thankful for. Even to this day, I still love playing Diablo. If I could play Diablo for hours on end. I could play it for, an entire weekend, my days off. I could do that because I just love the game that much, and it doesn't get boring to me of the grind and the looting and the dungeon delving. I love that kind of stuff. It's super fun. Diablo fans, we've pretty much been neglected since for a while, and as a whole, we finally got the taste of we might actually be getting something new, and it was only a mobile game. Had they talked about stuff, like I said, coming to the Diablo 3 seasons, if they would have just passively said, hey, Diablo 4 is in the works, we don't have anything to show or to talk about, talk about the Book of Adria, anything, as well as the mobile game, I guarantee this wouldn't be near as huge of a backlash as it is. Which a lot of gamers, like I said, it kind of begs the question: is this the future of the Diablo franchise? Will it only be mobile? There's no doubt in my mind that this will make truckloads of cash, because it will. It's a mobile game. Like I said, Fortnite made millions of dollars on iOS, made millions of dollars on Android. This will make money. So when it does, will there be a place for PC gamers in Diablo? Will there be a place for even console gamers in Diablo? It's just the way that everything was presented. It caused this to happen. Had they just thrown up a screenshot of the Diablo, D with a 4 numeral, similar to what Bethesda did with their announcement of Elder Scrolls 6, this would have made the crowd go nuts. And I know that they said that they weren't going to show anything with Diablo 4, and they just kept stressing, we have multiple teams working on multiple projects, and it didn't matter who was being interviewed. Even after the shit show that was day one of BlizzCon, that's still all they were saying. It was just like they were just programmed. That's your response. And as a community, we're just like, we know, but could there not be anything new? And kind of a perfect segue. Speaking of Bethesda, they've been on point with their mobile announcements. Like when they release mobile games, like they literally say, hey, we know you're a PC/console gamer, whatever you are, but we have some fun, quick mobile games for you to mess around with while you wait for Fallout 4, and then the crowd goes wild. Or, like we know here's, an expansion to Elder Scrolls Legends, our trading card game, and then we've got another one coming out called Elder Scrolls Blades, where you can build up your kingdom and sword fight all this stuff. But, oh, by the way, here's Elder Scrolls 6, and then the crowd goes wild. It's just an extremely easy way, with little effort, to let your fans know, hey, we hear you, we know what you want. And it hurts nothing at the end of the panel, oh, by the way, and then put up a picture of like Diablo 4. It's so easy to do. And we all know there's a new Diablo PC game coming. We've all known for a while. But just make your fans hyped and feel that their money was well spent on going to the convention. Like I said, we know there's a game coming because an editor at Kotaku, Jason Schreier, he accurately leaked Fallout 76 with pinpoint accurate details. And he's even said that, hey, yeah, I know for a fact there is a Diablo PC game in the works. So we know that it's there. Just let people know. Like, that's literally all they had to have done. Just let people know. And like Alan Adham, he's one of the co-founders of Blizzard. He even stated that they're working on many different things for many platforms, for many IPs. Kind of a reiteration of multiple teams working on multiple projects. But, he said that some people only play on mobile, which is true. There are some people, it's shocking, but they only play on mobile, whether it's tablet or a phone. But he also stated that Blizzard is still hardcore PC and console developers. They're not going to leave those two platforms behind. To reassure PC Diablo fans, he stated that they have not forgotten PC and console gamers for the Diablo franchise, and he said that they love Diablo as much as we all do, and that the passion of the fans is what keeps them going to strive for perfection on their projects. And like I said earlier, Riker, he was there at the Diablo panel live tweeting, and he, along with many other like YouTubers and streamers and people who are prominent within the Diablo community, who were just simply tweeting about the Diablo panel, were getting threats. They were getting harassed. I tweeted that I thought the game in of itself looked fun and that I was excited to at least try it out. And almost immediately I was called a shill for Blizzard, or that I'm a paid spokesman for Blizzard, and this was just like their way of getting disaster control. Guys, seriously, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This podcast that I do is a labor of love. Don't get me wrong. If Blizzard wanted to sponsor me, I would not say no, but I am definitely not sponsored by Blizzard or Activision. So, like, I'm not a paid sponsor or a paid actor as damage control for the shit show that was day one Diablo panel for BlizzCon. I guess one positive thing is that the game takes place between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, so Deckard Cain is back, so I guess I can look forward to that. I'll be able to hear "Stay a while and listen" again, which will be pretty cool. I kind of miss that because he died. So anyway, this is the end of the episode, and yeah, that's my take on everything from BlizzCon. And I feel, unfortunately, the negative view, that the negative aspect that was the Diablo stuff, it really outweighed all the good stuff that was coming out from all the other IPs like Overwatch, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, World of Warcraft,